This is War of the Suns. This is the Chinese War of Resistance 1937 to 45 by MMP Games, and this is the situation at the end of turn 2. Remember, this is actually the third turn in reality because there is a turn 0 in the campaign game. Now, the main things that happened here, there was a political event that meant the Han clique in Shantung went pro-Japanese. So effectively, that completely unhinged the nationalist defence of Shantung at the time, and they've had to fall back. They fell back to this river here, but the Japanese were able to actually cross the river as well, which is not brilliant. The Japanese gained enough objective points to get them another 6 victory points, so they're on 18 now. There wasn't a great deal of activity because of the weather. It's actually winter, and there's quite a few areas that have severe snow. I think there's 4 areas with severe snow, which is really well. It basically means your attacking strength is halved. It reduces your movement. Your aircraft are only half as effective in severe snow. It reduces your command range for your HQs. It just wasn't really worth making any attacks in the severe snow areas, so that covered most of the front up here near the mountains. The only little the action really was in this Shantung area, but most of it was the KMT actually retreating and the Japanese advancing into the area. There was the first air battles that took place. The Soviet volunteer group gave the Japanese a nasty shock and actually shot down the Japanese fighter. Not a very good one, but first sort of blood to the Chinese there. Think anything else that has happened really? Now, yeah, the Kuomintang in the areas where there isn't much snow down south have been bringing units north, getting the units closer to the front. So there's far less units in the rear areas because when you start the game, a lot of the Chinese units are spread all over the map. I think assume they were just in local security sort of thing, but now everybody's concentrating on the war. They're gradually moving more and more towards the front. The Chinese communists, they had some guerrilla bases, but they were all disbanded at the end of the last turn and turned into units. We've given more Chinese Kuomintang resources went to the CCP, so they've built a load more generic stuff. We're getting a bit wary now. We don't want to make the Chinese Communist faction too powerful, because not only have they got their own units, they've got the 2 cliques here that are actually on their side as well. So that makes them reasonably strong in North West China. And you've got to remember they are a separate faction. They're not part of the nationalist Chinese war effort. Another thing that happened on the political side is the Soviets are actually supporting the KMT at this particular point, hence the arrival of the Soviet volunteer group air units, which provided that little shock for the Japanese. Other air activities being fairly limited due to the terrible weather. It's really hampered bombing efforts. But amazingly enough, the Japanese strategic bombers struck at this resource centre here and managed to destroy 2 of the factories. So that was a nasty blow to the KMT, who've now got 3 factories destroyed. So that brings their total factory count down to 23. The Kuomintang have carried on expanding their infrastructure. That's supposed to be a railway there. So they're extending the railway down towards the south, and they're extending the road from Quezon all the way down to Kunming down there, or Kunming, or whatever it's pronounced. So fairly quiet turn. I'm still getting a bit of a grip with the rules. There has been other infrastructure. The Japanese have built an air base there at Insan, and they built a naval base there. They've completed the railroad connection there, and moved the railway connection to Peking from Shantou. So, as I say, a lot of build up on both sides. Not a great deal of activity due to the weather.